What is the best American beer? Well, I have the top 3 American beers right here in front of me, the OGs of the beer game, and we're gonna find out on today's episode of Beer Detour. Let's do this. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Beer Detour. I'm your host, Miguel Brambila, of course. On today's 4th of July special, we gathered the top 3 American beers. Now, these are beers that if someone's outside the US, they think these are the American beers. Of course, we know there's a lot of craft beer out there that's made here in the US, but when someone thinks of American beers, not from America, they usually think of these top 3. So on my left here, I have Budweiser, the king of beers. I have Miller, the champagne of beers. And then I have Coors, the banquet beer. So these are the top 3 beers. You're gonna find these at any grocery store, any liquor store. They're the most American beers I can think of. They've been around for so long, and there's just the OG of the beer game. So when I think of the cornerstone beers of America, these are the top 3 that I think of. So we have Budweiser right here. This one has been around since 1876. Budweiser, king of beers. And then we have Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. This one's been around since 1903. This is a big boy right here, look at this. And then we have Coors, the banquet beer, limited edition can, but this one's been around since 1873. I'm excited, you guys. This is the 4th of July special. Let's just pour out these bad boys and get right into drinking the American way. All right, these are the bad boys of the American way, the OG beers of the US. Let's start pouring these bad boys here. All right, guys, so in true American fashion, it's time to drink some American beers. Now, I'm not gonna go into too much detail about these companies. Everybody knows them, they're everywhere, or the aroma, or the flavor profile too much. I'm just gonna go right into the taste test and then the Beer Detour score. Let's start off with the Budweiser here. Cheers, guys. King of beers, the great American Budweiser. Next up, we have Miller. It's Miller time, the champagne of beers, Miller High Life. Cheers, guys. And finally, Coors, the banquet beer, in a nice glass. Cheers, guys. Ooh, nice and crisp. All right, so let me give you a little bit of insight. So if you're going for complex notes, stay away from here. These are just true American drinkable beers, 4th of July hitters, if you will. My favorite is gonna be Budweiser. I didn't used to like this taste, but I think the more I started really tasting it like an actual beer instead of just a throwaway beer, you actually can taste a lot of complex notes in there. And it's crisp, Pilsner style taste, a little bit of bitter ending, which I like in this type of beer. It's not hoppy at all. It's very clean, and the taste is really smooth and a little bitter aftertaste, which I like. So I'm liking the Budweiser a lot. Now these two over here, the Miller is a little bit more malty. It definitely has some malty taste and a very clear, crisp Pilsner style as well, but more malty side and very light. The Coors, very similar to the Miller here. Very clean, very crisp, very clear. It doesn't have too much of an aroma, but it does have a more malty profile, just like the Miller here. If you're looking for taste, depends what you're looking for. If you want a clean, crisp, just very light beer, Coors is gonna be your go-to. I know they have Coors Light. They have a light of each one of these beers, but it seems like Coors is the more lighter beer. Miller has a little bit more of an aftertaste in that very malty beer, and Budweiser just has everything combined. It's light, it is a little bit malty, but not too much. It's a Pilsner. It has really rich aroma and complex sort of flavor notes that I can tell from it. Not too crazy like an IPA, but just enough to keep you wanting more. That bitterness aftertaste I actually like, which is surprising. So I'm gonna have to go and start the Beer Detour score now. So let's start off with Miller. So with the Miller here, of course there's Miller Lite. This is Miller High Life. This is the champagne of beers, the great American beer. I'm gonna give this an 8.0. So that is a good score, and I really liked it, but it's not my favorite. Next up is Coors. Again, a staple here in the US. It's good, it's nice, it's crisp, it's clean. You can't go wrong with Coors. 8.2. So we have 8.0, 8.2, and now for the king of beers that changed my mind. I didn't used to like this, now I like it after tasting it. I can see why it's the king of beers. 8.5 for Budweiser. Budweiser is the most American beer, and it's the best tasting American beer, according to me, of course. So thank you guys for joining me on this 4th of July Beer Detour special episode. I had a lot of fun trying out these great American cornerstone beers that we have here in the US. And I'm gonna be stuck here drinking these for a while. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe. You wanna hit that notification bell, that way you're alerted every time a new video drops. As always, it will help if you drop a thumbs up, a like on all my videos. Follow me on Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/beerdetour, you can join my channel. It's $5 for a membership, and you get a lot of exclusive content. I will see you guys next time.